Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today guys we're going to be talking about, is there a deck that you play in the real life, in the real world, in dueling, or even online, or a deck that you've played in the past, that you feel that you know that deck so well, you know the ins and the outs of that deck like you know the back of your hand. You know that deck so well that you feel like you could play it in your sleep. Now, many of you guys up there are probably going to be laughing right now and just saying, why the heck are you even talking about a topic such as playing duel monsters, playing dueling in your sleep? Why would you be dueling in your sleep? Well, believe it or not, once in a while you do have a duel dream in your sleep. If you played Yu-Gi-Oh long enough, you will have one dream, I promise you, where you're dueling. I promise you that. But that is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is you know this deck so well that you feel like you have become one with the deck. You feel like you know this deck so well you could just play it in your sleep without even opening your eyes. You know exactly how to play this deck. Personally, for me, it's Gravekeepers. Gravekeepers are my favorite deck, and I guess you could say throughout the years, I mean, I know the ins and outs of this deck. I know how to play this deck. I know how to take on just about anything out there. I know how to properly side deck with the deck against any deck I take on, or decks that I know I'm going to take on. I know you know the deck so well, it's pretty much become a part of you because you just know how to play it so well. And me, my friend, you may be asking yourself, well, how did you come up with this topic for this video? Well, it's a little fun story. Got people out there that personally know me will probably know who exactly I'm referring to. But one of my favorite friends, one of my very, very dear friends, who pretty much taught me how to play Gravekeepers to the best of my ability. We were talking about Gravekeepers and how we feel like we could probably play this deck in our sleep because we know this deck so dang well. I call him the godfather of Gravekeepers, with a godfather, because he taught me so much about Yu-Gi-Oh! And about Gravekeepers and just dueling in general when I came out of high school and went to college. And he's a good, dear friend of mine. Many of you guys probably know him if you personally know me. But we were talking about, you know what, if we were falling asleep, we probably could play Gravekeepers, asleep. We know this deck so well, both of us. And we were talking about, we always do Gravekeepers against Gravekeepers to see who's the better Gravekeeper master. But as many of you guys probably know, Gravekeepers are my favorite deck. And it'll probably be the last deck I ever put down when I quit Yu-Gi-Oh! When I quit Yu-Gi-Oh! This is probably the one deck I will personally keep on me, no matter what, because it is a part of me, this deck is. But enough about my love with Gravekeepers, and Gravekeepers for life, my friends out there that play Gravekeepers. But what I want to talk about, isn't there come a point from some of you guys, there comes a point when you know a deck so well, you know the ins and outs, like I was saying earlier, of that deck, that you personally feel like you could play that deck against any deck. You could properly side deck for anything. You know that deck so well. You know how to properly build it. You know how to properly, every hand you get, you know how to work around it or work with it. Just about every hand you get, you say, okay, I can do this, 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 and this, 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 and this. Any hand you get, you know exactly what to do because you play this deck so much and you know it so well. You feel so confident in this deck. There sometimes comes a point that you know a deck so well that this will happen. And if you played a deck for many, for a long period of time, you will know what I'm talking about here. But I wanted to ask you, does there come a point that you know a deck so well that you personally feel like you could play it in your sleep? You know that deck like the back of your hand. So till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I look forward to seeing your comments and hearing what decks that you personally play, and you know the ins and outs of that deck so well that you feel like you could play with it in your sleep. Till next time, guys, Seto Kaiba, I'm out of here, guys.